Alrighty, hello and good morning to all of my embroidery friends. So today we are going to do something a little different. I'm going to throw a curveball at y'all, um, and we're going to do something different. So you can use your embroidery machine for a plethora of different things. And one of those different things is making earrings. So we are going to digitize just a single earring here, and then we'll take it over to the machine and we will stitch it out just to see if it's going to work. And then we will stitch it out if it works. That's a big if. We're going to stitch it out onto some patterned vinyl and some glitter vinyl. That way you guys can kind of see the options you have with your machine, especially if you got a new machine for Christmas. So we are going to get started. I just downloaded this. This was an SVG that I had purchased. And of course, you can't use the SVG in Hatch Embroidery if that is your software of choice, but you can use the PNG or the JPEG file. So this here is the PNG, and my mouse pad is not wanting to behave today. So this is the PNG file of that. Typically, your SVG would come in your different cuts here, because this is going to be 2 or 3 different cuts, but this one is not. So we're going to have to make it that way. So for starters, we're going to come over here and we are going to digitize a closed shape. Now, we want this closed shape to be an outline. So we're just going to hit the outline settings, and you know, it doesn't matter. My default is always this lime green color, but it doesn't really matter. I like using the lime green to start with just because obviously it's very contrasting to these other colors. So we are going to get all up in this this images business here. Like, we're going to get up as close as we possibly can here. And we are just going to start, whoops, we're going to start here, and this whole thing is just going to be laid out in curved nodes. So I'm just going to start dropping all of these little nodes down on here to get I can't speak this morning, to get all of our little, to get our nodes down so we can get our shape going here. And earrings are really easy. They're really quick. They're really simple. And this is one of the only things that I will match my bobbin color to, just because you can see earrings from the front and the back. So I don't particularly like having a white bobbin thread showing on the back of my earrings. So of course, you know, when you're laying down this first line here that you're going to do, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, because the program itself is going to kind of compensate for that. So there's always that. So this is going to be done in, we're going to actually do this one in 2 separate pieces. So this here is our first piece. And we are going to go ahead and change that to a triple run stitch, and I'm going to move it off of the image here, because we don't want to be confusing ourselves here, because trust me, it will happen. Of course, I just like to make sure all of my stitches are nice and evenly spaced. And so for this, we are just going to go ahead and we're going to duplicate, whoops, go back. We're going to change this to the color we want it to be. Obviously, you guys can make this any color you want. It doesn't matter. But I want it to be red because we are going to be matching this here. So, fun times, y'all, fun times. I just forgot what I was saying, but that's okay. So we're going to take this and we are going to duplicate this one here. Of course, we're going to turn it gray, send it to the top, change it to a single run, and that is going to be our placement stitch. Because on this, we're only going to run one stitch, and when we get over to the machine, I will show you the reason why. Okay, so now we're moving on to our center piece here. For all intents and purposes, we could take and we could duplicate this. We'll change it to a different color. We'll move it over this way, and we'll just resize it. Sometimes is the simplest way to get things done is just by resizing, especially if it's the same thing. And easy peasy lemon squeezy right there. So we will of course take and we're going to duplicate that again, and we're going to turn it gray, and we're just going to move it up one because we're going to end up stitching out kind of at the same time, mind you. Actually, we probably won't stitch out at the same time. We will just make a new, we'll just do some cutting and pasting here. It's fine. I kind of forgot what I was doing. Okay, so there we've got this. Now we're going to leave this here because we want to make sure that our little heart here is nice and centered. Now, of course, you can do this however you want. You can do this with a patterned vinyl for the back and a glittery vinyl for the front, because we're going to end up putting this heart here. We're going to end up putting that as a fill stitch. Now, you guys know that I like to use my shapes here. So we're going to start out with a heart-shaped here. And we're just going to bring it right over. No barking, sir. Braun. Hey. I don't know what he's barking at. There's nothing there. So now we're going to get up in close, and even though this is just like a quick shape, you can still hit that reshape button and reshape it. So the point here of our heart is a little deeper than this one is, so we'll just move that down. We'll move that over just a touch, and you can move your little nodes here to match the curvature of this heart. And if you even wanted to bring that on down and make it a wonky heart, you could do that, but we're not going to do that. So we're just going to move our stuff around here. And we're going to take away. Okay, that doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and we'll bring that back. We're going to turn this red, and we are going to make this a fill stitch, and I would like to make it a satin stitch. I don't know about a 3D satin because that's going to entail a lot more, but maybe we will use our little embossed heart pattern. I think that would be cute. Where are the hearts? Let's find the hearts here. Here we go. Here's the hearts. So we've got 5 different heart patterns here to choose from. So I'm just going to go through here and see which one looks the best, which is probably going to be this one. And then we can hit our advanced button down here, and we can play with the spacing to make these a little more visible inside this heart-shaped area here. So let's see, we want it to go down. So we did that one. Well, actually, that doesn't look too bad right like that. So I am going to put an outline around that, just because outlines make the world go round, right? Makes everything look nice and clean and finished. It gives it a nice little finished edge, and I think that's going to be a pretty cute little earring. Okay, so let's make sure that everything is set the way it needs to be set before we move this one. We are going to give this a little bit more of a compensation. We'll start with 0.02. This pull compensation here, when I'm doing thick fill stitches with lines, I typically do 0.03, or what I like to refer to as a 20 or a 30, because it's just going to make sure that this outline sits right along the edge of this here, because this is going to do it's going to push one way and it's going to pull another way, so it's going to look all kinds of jacked up if we don't do that. That's for a completely different video though, so so we just did that. Okay, now we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that altogether, and we're going to take and we're going to highlight everything that we've got here. We're going to cut it, and then we're just going to open a new design, and then we're just going to paste it. Just like that. We are cut and pasted. So essentially, this first little outline that we did, we're going to shove that down to the bottom. So we have our outline stitch here in gray, as always. Then we have our fill stitch. Then we have an outline around the fill stitch. And then this right here is going to be our final outline where we're going to put the back on. So we are going to export this to the flash drive. And we're going to export this one to the flash drive too. You don't have to save these before you export them either. Especially when I'm working on like quick designs like this, I will not do any kind of exporting or saving before I export, just because if I need to go back, then I can just go back real quick and hit the undo button. Once you kind of hit that save button, sometimes the undo will only go so far. So, okay. We are going to hop on over here to the machine. We are going to stitch these out on felt first, just to make sure that everything is going to look okay. So let me get you guys over here to our other screen, just like that, and I will meet you over there in just a second. Alrighty. So, here we go. I don't know how well, we might have to move this a little over this way just for now. We'll move you right there. We'll move you guys right there. It's fine. Okay. So, flash drive. I forgot to grab my flash drive. Alrighty, so we're going to plug our flash drive in here real quick. And if you guys don't have these little extender cables, get you some. I got a 3-pack off of Amazon for like 10 bucks. I just posted a TikTok video about those yesterday. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run if your USB drive decides that it doesn't love life anymore. Okay. So I don't need this color. We are going to get our hoop here. And again, earrings are very 4x4 friendly. You can get at least 2 pairs in a hoop and all that jazz. So with these 2 designs that we're going to do, we will be able to stitch each one of these on in the same hooping, just kind of a little differently. Alrighty, so here we go. We are going to start with our first one, which is that one there. Okay, so we are done with that. We are going to stitch this out in red because creature of habit and all. Our needle didn't thread. Okay. So now, here we go. This is our placement stitch. And since this is a very, very simple design, we are just going to do it like this. And this is one of those instances where, get off of there, we're going to do our top and our bottom at the same time. So I always like to put my bottom piece of felt on first, or bottom piece of whatever it is you're going to be using, which is more than likely going to be faux leather if you're making earrings. So I always put the bottom piece on first. That way you can get it lined up into place, because you can still see it. The whole reason we run the placement stitch is so you can make sure that you have your fabric or whatever you're using correctly positioned over your earring or whatever it is that you're doing. So with this stabilizer, this is a cutaway stabilizer. I think it's more of a material type, so it's going to give us the stabilization we need, but at the same time it is going to not be so heavy and bulky feeling as a tearaway would. I think tearaways feel a little bulky, and they're papery, and yeah, just rambling, it's fine. Okay, so now we're going to put on our top piece. Everything's all nice and in position. We're just going to match everything up just like that. And now we're just going to run our stitch. So there's our first one done. No big deal, right? Pretty stinking simple. And you could honestly, if you wanted to just take that first design there and use it as an earring on its own, you could 100% do that. Again, I didn't use red, and you can see the white through the back. Absolutely do not like that, but we're just doing a test stitch here to make sure that this is okay, so everything will be all right. And I will move this one down over here to the corner. In this one, I'm still just going to use the red. I will use the red on just all of this just to make life easier on me. Alrighty, and as you can see, I forgot to change this stitch here to a single run instead of a triple run stitch. So again, this is the whole reason why we test all of our designs before we actually, you know, put them up for sale or anything like that. Okay, so next we're going to use a piece of white just to make a contrast here, and now we're going to stitch out our little pattern here, and that's going to take about 3 minutes, it looks like it says. Essentially, I like to keep all of my little scrap pieces of faux leather and stuff, you know, like this is about a 3" by 2" or a 4" by 2" section here, which will make a couple of earrings. So right now I'm just over here while that stitches, trying to find some good options for us here. And this is where I would use glitter and you could use chunky glitter on this with no problem. No problem at all. Like, I don't like to use chunky glitters just to use use chunky glitter, but that right there might actually be a good chunky glitter kind of thing. Okay. So I'm not seeing anything in here that I just absolutely cannot live without. I was looking for, ooh, what is that? Because this seems to be stitching out really well all on its own to begin with. So maybe, just maybe, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. All right, so get that trimmed up. Whoops, hair. So there we go. We have our nice, cute little patterned heart right there. It's so adorable. Now we're just going to put the back on this piece, just like we normally would, just like that, and stitch her out. Some people, and I say some people, the very few creators that I have seen that do earrings like this, they will digitize a spot on the top that that you would poke your hole through to put your earring hardware in. I am personally not going to do that, just because I will take and I'll line everything up all at the same time to do that. So yeah, there we go. And there's our first earring tested out. It looks like it's going to work perfectly. So yeah, now we're going to move on to stitching this puppy out for real. So for the first little go around here, I think I'm actually going to change my thread color. I think I'm going to change it to white. That way, just for the sake of this video, I don't have to change bobbin colors. Besides, it's going to contrast quite well anyway. So we will just leave it at that. Alrighty. So again, I am just going to use some cutaway stabilizer on this one. No big deal. And I should have raised this stupid tripod up. Okay, we'll do that later. Because just because. Okay. So we will start with our big piece. Get our friend here threaded. Okay, so again, just using scrap pieces. I'm going to put this on the back, and then this is going to be our patterned front. So with the back, since we're going to have that nice piece of faux leather here on the back, we're going to have to be a little more careful about how we place it on here, because faux leather is kind of sticky. It doesn't slide very well. So we've just got to make sure everything stays positioned the way we want it to. And since this right here is a pattern that it doesn't really matter which way it goes. It could go this way or it could go this way. We're just going to toss it on here. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's clip our string and we'll take a look at it. I know it's kind of hard to see, but you can see our stitching there, and we have a nice pattern there. And then on the back, you can still see all of the stitches and stuff, but you can't tell that you've got two different colors going on there. It looks like the white was actually meant to be white. Alright, so now we need to give our pattern color here a little trim. We need to trim off some of this excess here. That way we don't catch it and break a needle like we did yesterday. Alrighty, so for our next one, again, we're just going to get that one loaded up. Moved into place. And run our placement stitch. Alrighty, just grabbing all of my hardware here real quick. I don't know where my pokey thingy is. I gotta go find my pokey thingy. Okay, so we'll get all that shit back there. Alrighty, so now we're going, you can tell I am from the country. I am sorry. We're going to use this nice, it's a glitter canvas. It's thin. It's very thin, but you can still stitch through it quite well. And, you know, everybody loves the glitter. The glitter is great. So we're just going to put this on here, just like this. And we'll get this stitched out real quick. always nice when you can't find your tools, because children grab hold of things and they just do whatever with them. Alrighty, well, I guess we will see if this will work, which is really sad. I had 3 of them, and I don't know where any of them are. I had one just the other day that I was using for snap tabs, and I don't know where it is now. It's my life. Okay, so now we are ready for that piece of backing. Same red as the other one. And we are going to gently move that into place. And I will hold it down just a little bit. Alrighty, so now that we're done with that, so there we have both of our pieces. We are just going to, oops, I'm going to move this puppy out of the way so I can have some workspace here. Alrighty, so obviously you're going to need a pair of scissors to cut these out with. And then you're going to need your earring hardware and your jump rings. These are, I don't know what size these are. I know I got these at the Dollar Tree. And they're a relatively decent sized jump ring. Alright, so I'm going to do a rough cut on these guys just to get them apart. And again, I am not using any special kind of scissors. These are just my favorite scissors that I use to cut things out with. I know a lot of people swear by the big, expensive, sharp scissors. While it is important that your scissors are sharp, it is also important that they're comfortable in your hand, because you're going to have more control over your scissors if they're comfortable. So that is my opinion. Don't hold me to that. It's just my opinion. Now, we are going to cut slowly, because we want to get closer to these stitches than we would normally, but again, we don't want to cut through the stitches. Normally I would leave a pretty decent space, but at this point in time, I want a little closer. Just like that. Okay. And we'll get our baby snips, our baby snippies, and give this a trim. And the same for this one. And you know, I could do this with a Cricut if I wanted to, because essentially the files that I paid for were for a Cricut cutting machine. But I have a Cricut, I love my Cricut, but I don't like using it. Figure out that logic, I don't know. Okay, so since I can't find my good pokey thingy, I am going to use this. It's still pokey, it'll still go through, so we should be fine. So what I typically do is I line everything up so you're putting your hole through the same spot on both pieces. And we're going to do this. And it's obviously a lot harder with this, but we'll be fine. And then I will run it through the back way. As well. Okay. And that is an earring on a budget right there. That's what happens when you can't find your stuff. Okay, so we're going to need a couple jump rings here. So you can use 2 different sets of pliers. You don't have to if you don't want to. Some people find it easier. I go both ways. I'm not really... I can do it either way, no big deal. And sometimes it's easier to go through that back hole that we made. And just like that. Oops, there we go. We are through. Now, I will take and I will close that up just like that. Some people don't use their fingers. I don't mind using my fingers. It doesn't hurt at all. And all that jazz. And I will take and I will move that break in the hoop. I'll move it towards the back because just my preference, it feels as if there will be a less likely chance that it is going to mess up or come apart or anything like that. So now to put in the earring hoop. Whoops, I just dropped that. Come here. Alrighty. So some people will put this ring on first, and then they'll add their earring wire. You know, it just depends on what I'm doing. That's what I do. I don't have a tried and true rhyme or reason on why I do things. I just do things. And there we go. And there's our earring. All nice and put together. Now, you say, well, that's on backwards. It's backwards. Yeah, well, we're going to take and we're going to grab hold of this part here. We're going to grab this part. And we're going to turn it. So now, let's see, I think this finger is small enough. Or it's not small enough. Shit, my fingers are getting fat, I guess. We'll do it like this. So now our earring will hang nice and flat against the side of your head. And there we go. That is how you can embroider on an earring. These are extremely lightweight. They're not any heavier than they would be if it was used with faux leather and all that stuff. So yeah, you have a different way of making cute earrings. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I know it's a little long, but it's okay. So follow me on Facebook, join my Facebook group. You never know when I will be giving away free earring designs. If you would like to support my channel in any way, shape, or form, you can hop on over to my Ko-Fi and buy me a Dr. Pepper. I don't drink coffee, but I do drink the shit out of some Dr. Pepper, y'all. So that is going to be it for today. I will see you all over on TikTok really soon. But until then, I will see everybody later. Happy crafting. Bye.